Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's sermon recap. I'm here with CJ Muston. I, of course, am your host, John Rhodes. CJ preached yesterday to finish off our Generous Life series, and I think he did a great job, CJ. I think he really did a great job. I know we had a few people on Facebook saying that they really enjoyed your message and things like that, too. So I think that's an awesome thing when we can take to Facebook and be encouraging and support one another in that way. So
thanks, man.
I really think you did a great job. We did not get any questions on social media, though.
Okay.
So remember, if you do have any questions for the person who gave their sermon afterward, maybe a thought you have, we will not name you by name if you do not want to be named, but we can ask the question and we can bring it to attention if you want to on either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just go ahead and send us a message following the Sunday sermon or sometime Monday morning. We'll get the question and we will add it into our questions. Now, CJ.
Yes.
You started off by talking about your kids and how much they love Christmas.
Absolutely.
But it's fall time right now.
Favorite time of the year.
It is a great time. I enjoy it personally because I can wear long pants and wear a shirt and not sweat through it in 2 minutes.
Nice.
So,
That's good.
Yes, I enjoy that. I love summer, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy being cooler.
Yes.
So, but I did need to ask you one fall question that I think everybody is just burning about knowing. Yep. How do you feel about pumpkin spice? Do you like it in your coffee? Do you like it in your ice cream? Or I'm sure they have pumpkin spice milk nowadays. I had no idea. But do you enjoy pumpkin spice?
I do. I don't eat a whole lot of pumpkin spice. I do like the pumpkin spice flavored ice cream. I drink my coffee black, so I don't flavor my coffee or anything like that.
That's the manly way to do it, I hear.
Well, but I tell you what, my wife, I'm spoiled by my wife. She makes an absolutely incredible pumpkin pie. So obviously there's pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie, and I can't get enough of that.
You heard it here first. If you want the best pumpkin pie in Brazil, Indiana, go find CJ's wife, Kirsten Muston.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Kirsten.
Without a doubt.
I don't know if she can make enough pies for the whole church, but maybe she'll grace us with a pumpkin pie at some point. Who knows?
Maybe.
I have no idea. I really enjoy the pumpkin spice blizzard. I think it was last year I had one for the first time. And I wasn't quite sure about it. Yeah. I did that thing, when you order a small of something because you're like, I'm trying it for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. And by the time I was done with it, I was like, it's gone already.
Yeah.
I wish I had more.
Yeah.
So that's the only hard part about doing that.
Now, I recently got, I know they're closed now for the season, but I recently got the pumpkin cheesecake equivalent of the blizzard from the Freeze in town.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was.
All right.
It was pretty awesome.
Very good. Very good. I'll have to try that at some point.
Yeah.
So, better than the pumpkin spice blizzard, you said?
I have not tried the pumpkin spice blizzard. I'll have to try it, though, at some point this season.
It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's life-changing. The Oreo, the cookies and cream blizzard is pretty life-changing. But I would not say it's life-changing. But it's still good.
Fair enough.
It's okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into the sermon a little bit. I think you had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, first service I have to leave a little early to go get the kids ready. So I was upset I didn't get to listen all the way to the end, but thankfully, we post our podcasts and everything like that. Brian was not in the office today, so if you are looking for the podcast, I'm not sure if it will be up today or later on in the week. Just keep checking back. I'm very sorry if it's not. Brian and his family are on fall break, and they're getting their vacation time.
You gotta take care of family first.
Exactly.
You gotta take care of family.
Podcast or family.
Right.
And I think family wins.
Absolutely.
Right? I think we can all agree. So, but there was at one point you read, I think it was the verse in John 13, it said, Jesus said, "They will know you are my followers by the way you love one another."
Absolutely.
And, that got me thinking about how we are just known by everything we say, everything we do, everything we wear. If you dress a certain way, people will label you as a certain certain financial state. If you talk
Absolutely.
a certain way, people will label you with a certain education level. Anything and everything we do, there are labels and things that we're known for, which can be good and bad.
Right.
It can be good and bad.
Absolutely.
But what would you say we are to do, wear, or say that would display ourselves as followers of Jesus? Jesus gives us this idea here. But what would you say would be the practical part of implementing that?
Well, I think that what we do, wear, and say, as long as it is encouraging, uplifting, and God honoring, obviously not sinning in any way, shape, or form, that's something that's given to us by God. Like, people may dress in different ways. People may speak in different ways. We are all at different income levels, but the cool thing about that is that God takes us and he allows us to come into contact with different people through those experiences. Mm-hmm. You went to college in Kentucky. I went to college in Cincinnati, Ohio, and so there was a different group of people that we were able to connect with in those areas, And I think that beyond what we do, wear, and say, I don't know that I would say, you got to wear a shirt that says Jesus loves you. But, be yourself and allow the people that gravitate toward you to experience Jesus through you being just who you are, who God created you to be. The best life that we can live on this earth is a life that we were created to live. And so if your thing is video games, play video games with your friends and show them the love of Christ as you do it. If your thing is gardening or being outdoors or hunting, do that with a group of people that have those same interests and share them with them the love of Christ. So beyond what you do, say, or wear, it's not so much about saying you have to speak in this way or wear this clothing. It's be yourself and then show others the love of Christ by the way that you love them in the midst of being yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And God gives all of us different passions and likes and dislikes. For me, I've never shot a gun in my life. I don't enjoy. I say I don't enjoy hunting. I've never been, so I can't really say. I've never been hunting. I never did it. And I never was something where I was like, "Hey, go take me hunting," because I just never thought of it. I guess I stayed inside and played video games too much. I don't know, but so for me, I'm not gonna go be able to reach a group of guys in Brazil, Indiana, or gals, whoever wants to go hunting. I'm not going to be able to go reach them as well as somebody who maybe does enjoy hunting. I know you enjoy hunting.
I do. Yes.
You tell me about your trips with Tate.
Yes.
Sounds like sometimes they'll scare the deer away.
Well, yeah. That's part of it. But
right.
We have a blast.
Right.
Regardless.
But you're so right there. Just implementing Jesus into whatever situation we're in. I love that. And one of the two practical ways you gave us to start loving others and to start following Jesus to others and to display that to them was you said to lay down your life and meet someone else's needs. Mm-hmm. And that got me to think about, it's easy to meet someone else's needs when it's just in conflict with what we want. Say I have $50 and, I want to use those $50 to buy something for myself that I enjoy. Maybe a video game, I don't know. But something I enjoyed. But somebody else needs that $50 to, just make it to the next gas station or something like that. Right. It's easy to be able to say, you know what, I can give up my $50 to go buy this that I have no need for. So that this person can make it to where they need to go with the gas that they need. But what happens when our needs come in conflict with someone else's needs? Physically, if I need something and somebody else needs the same thing, what happens in that situation, would you say?
Can you give me an example of that?
Just something where maybe it's money related, or maybe it's just time to be able to talk with somebody, but maybe you're on a busy schedule and you need to go do something else, or maybe it's serving or something like that. Just anything that would have to do with that.
Okay. Well, I think that there are two important aspects of this. First of all, if you are not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help others. And so, if I think a lot of times, especially in the role that you and I are in ministry, we go and 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 we go, and a lot of times God says, "Hey, there's a Sabbath. Take a break, take a rest, replenish your own tank a little bit, fill up with me, and then go out and show some love." And so, so the first thing is we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. But I would say beyond just a very practical what you need and what they need, what we are giving, the needs we are meeting, they're nothing more than a tool to express the love. So you giving $50 to someone, it's not just an action of, all right, here's $50. It's an action of the way that you look into their eyes, the way that you express love, and you talk to them and you hear their story. If there's a person that just needs some time to talk, giving that time to talk to them is the tool that you use to say, all right, I'm going to express to you the importance that you have as a human being and the importance that God sees you as valuable. And so really the physical things that we provide, the needs that we're meeting, are really just tools to do something greater in their lives, and show them the love of Christ.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome to recognize that it's not so much about the deed of maybe giving or helping or something like that, but it's what you do surrounding that deed, how you do that deed for somebody else.
I think we can get caught up in a checklist mentality often, and so it's like, I did my duty, I gave away something, I did my duty, I did my devotions, and really God just wants our heart to express his love, express love to him, express love to others. And when you start to live like that, it becomes less about the checking off the list of saying, I gave this week, and it's more about, wow, like I saw this person and I recognized their value as a human being, as someone with God inside of them, and I not only met a need, but I was able to learn about them and express care and concern for them as a human.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that goes into the next part that I was going to talk about with you, the part where you use the term others focused. And I think that's so important in a world today where it feels like we can't miss anything.
Absolutely.
There is so much happening in the world, but we have everything in the world that we need on our iPads or on our phones or anything like that. We can look up something in a second, it seems like. And years ago, when you didn't have all this technology and you didn't have maybe the internet at your fingertips, it was difficult to try and help people to know about needs that were out there. If there's a water shortage, we're going to hear about it almost right away. You get a notification on your phone or something like that. You're going to know about that stuff almost right away. And so for us, being others focused, it almost seems like there's not an option to not be. Anything that's happening in the world, any charity, it's so much easier for them to allow for them to tell people what's going on, what do they need help with, and everything like that, and what they need to do to help other people. It makes me think of the story of the Good Samaritan, and most people know this story, but if you don't, guy walking on the road gets beat up, he gets thrown to the side of the road, he's left there for dead. Two religious men walk by, and they just act like they don't even see him. They basically just walk on by, act like they don't see him, and keep going. Now, I always thought to myself, what if somebody confronted them later on and said, hey, there was that guy. Did you not see him? Like, I didn't even see him there. It's like, yes, you did, dude.
Right.
You didn't not see him there. You just chose to not do anything. And in our world today, it's almost less about, well, where can I put this money to meet a need? And it's more about, well, which need should I put my money in to help?
Right.
Right. So can you give us some tips or things like that you use in your life to help yourself be others focused?
Well, I think it's important for us to set aside some money and say, I'm going to give to these specific organizations. I'm going to give to First Christian Church. I'm going to give to, feeding the orphans or whatever organization it is that you support. And so that's a part of just a budgeting process. But I think in the midst of giving to those organizations, it's really important to dig in and hear their stories, the things that they are doing, the differences that they are making in the lives of the people that they are touching.
Right.
Which is a really cool way to say, hey, I'm giving to this and I'm meeting this person's need right here. And then when you see that, it lights a fire in your heart to continue to do more. And that's from kind of a budget thing. But I think the really, really important thing is your daily life. Again, it's really easy to say, I did my checklist, I gave money to this organization. And there are people that pass us by every single day that we walk by, hey, how's it going? Huh? I'm okay. And we're just like, okay, see you later. And in reality, they say, I'm okay. And you're like, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
Or you see someone that's obviously struggling and in need of whatever it may be, making sure that we are aware of the people that we are in contact with. It's a totally different atmosphere and connection when we meet a need one-on-one. And so it's twofold in being others focused. We have to provide for the larger organizations that are doing great things around the world. Because let's be honest, you and I are not going to go to Zambia and drill wells. I could not even begin to know
I can't even hunt.
Right? I don't know how to drill a well. But I can give to, clean water organizations that do drill wells.
Right.
But it's totally different when I see there's Bobby, and man, he is really in need. And I step up and I step out of my comfort zone and just express God's love through meeting whatever that need may be.
Right, yeah. And I think you addressed that in your sermon. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, when you show the true love of God to somebody, you're restoring God's kingdom in their heart. And I think that's really what your entire message was about, was just anything and everything you do, do what you can to help build God's kingdom, not just on earth and not just in our community, but in that person's heart. It's
Absolutely.
Personal, it's one-on-one.
Absolutely.
And that's not to say that it's not okay to give money to organizations that drill wells or anything like that. Maybe that's not the most personal thing in the world, but it's good. We need to do that.
It's an important part of being a Jesus follower. It's local and global.
Right.
It's got to be both and.
Right. But that's exactly where I was getting at with it, is, the local and global, like you were saying, and those personal conversations, that personal time helping people, but also just helping somebody across the world who maybe they're thinking to themselves, where in the world am I going to get water today? And they figure out, wow, all the way over in America, never even been to America, never even heard about it, they're giving money in some way, shape, or form. I'm getting water because of it. And hopefully they'll find the love of Christ through that.
Right.
And I think that all stems from what you talked about, the author you talked about, Bob Goff, who is a very well-known author. What are some of your favorite books by him? I know you said Love Does in your sermon.
Love Does is phenomenal. I just finished a book by his wife, Maria Goff, that says Love Lives Here, or it's called Love Lives Here. Phenomenal book. And then he's got another book that I have not read yet. It's on my list. It's called Everybody Always, that I really want to read. And so, but just a phenomenal author, great storyteller.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of hearing Bob Goff speak at KCU one time, and it was phenomenal. He's one of those guys that you meet him and you're just like, I feel closer to God.
Yes.
Whenever I'm next to you.
Yes.
And
he's
those
the real deal.
Right. And those type of people you meet in your life, try to stay as close to those people as you possibly can, because they're out there. They're not never around. They're out there. You'll find them. But it's just about sticking close to those people. But I want to ask you, and maybe get personal for a minute, who was the person in your life that you felt like truly did that for you? They truly showed you God's love, mm-hmm. and it kind of maybe restored or brought the kingdom of God into your heart. Who did that for you?
From the moment that we started dating, Kirsten continued to restore God's kingdom into my heart. She challenged me when I needed challenged. She supported me when I needed supported. And there was a time when I was at my lowest of lows. I mean, I was just shot. I was just at my lowest of lows. And she was there to support me and pick me up and really express to me. She gave so much of herself in that time to express God's love to me and restore his kingdom into my heart, that I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am today without that moment of her bringing God back into my life and restoring his kingdom into my heart.
That's a pretty beautiful thing.
Thanks.
So I might tear up here for a second, but I'll just think about pumpkin pie and then I'll be a whole lot better. So,
yes.
No, but truly think about it yourself. Think about who in your life has been there for you to do that. And if you haven't had anybody in your life who's done that for you, I would encourage you to reach out to people in your life who you know are close to God and just invite them into your life. Don't go up to them and say, "Hey, will you help restore the kingdom of God?" Don't go up to, you're going to scare them away, okay? But, no, I'm just kidding. But, just invite them into your life. Maybe they do want to be a part of your life and they don't know how to start yet. Invite them out to eat with you, invite them to go walking with you at the park or anything. Just invite them into your life, have consistent conversations with you, and eventually, like CJ said, it's going to be those one-on-one conversations. It's going to get personal, and if they really truly want to show the love of God to you, then they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for joining us for today's sermon recap. I enjoyed this today, CJ. Not that I don't enjoy it when Chris is here. I love when Chris is here too, but this kind of shook it up a little bit for me. So thank you so much for joining us. Any final words or anything before we head out?
Man, just go out and restore God's kingdom. Be others focused, be aware, and show his love.
There we go. That's a good way to do it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next week.